afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Tuesday, July 19th, 2022, a little after 3 p.m. Eastern. Have you ever continuously sent out a strong emotional thought of, I really didn't want XYZ to happen, and somehow you only attract that thing or situation into your life? A lot of people, why is this? If we are truly super powerful, highly intelligent, manifesting beings, why do we create something that we don't want to occur? Now, there may be a variety of explanations for this, yet the most foundational reason is that whatever we resist persists. It is a paradoxical world we live in, and the key to transcending it is embracing the totality of existence, which means resisting nothing in this universe. This is the only way to master your life. You can start today with finding peace with what you cannot. Anytime you throw up an energetic or emotional wall and start resisting something, whether it's a thought, feeling, memory, or that person standing in front of you, you'll find that your mind is fiercely focusing upon the negative aspects of what you don't want, instead of the positive possibilities of what you do want. Vibrationally, we are like magnets and only attract that which we continuously focus upon with great emotion. So if you can stop focusing upon something, you stop resisting it, and thus stop manifesting it. The control to control the mind takes great awareness, patience, and love. It also takes knowing your true divine infinite nature that fears absolutely nothing. For as divine beings, we've all set it up so that every little thing that we focus on grows, expands, and returns to us naturally like a boomerang. We cannot get rid of your inherent manifesting magnet nature. If you could choose somehow to train your mind to obsessively resist feelings of joy, love, abundance, and gratitude, it would be a roundabout way, yet you could soon start finding those qualities showing up all throughout your life. It's good to know that all resistance comes from fear of something else. If and when you can discover that you're truly afraid of what you're truly afraid of, and welcome it with open arms, then all resistance to this life will dissolve instantly. When you no longer resist that one person, you know, the one who always triggers you, you have just found a new way to love and appreciate them. It all happens the moment you see how everything is connected to the divine. It's easy to resist nothing when all you see is God. When you realize that everyone also has the divine infinite nature, you have no other choice than acceptance. The day you have no resistance to the understanding that everyone, and yes, everyone, even Hitler, is a divine being connected to the God source, you'll have truly transcended all future suffering. The experience of total fear and being lost in love are the two greatest resistances people have. Since going into either one would absolutely obliterate your ego. Perhaps you noticed this resistance habit in your love life or your family relationships. You might have discovered that when you start thinking something is wrong about somebody or believe that they should be different, your body contracts and goes into resistance mode. This internal rejection of life is a ridiculous attempt to protect the ego so that it can remain in illusionary control of its agenda and remain in complete ignorance of your divine infinite nature. It's good to know that all your problems in this lifetime are going to be created out of this simple resistance to your innate divinity. Once you stop resisting the infinite God source inside you, you'll understand the role the ego had to play in order to trick you into discovering your true nature. Once you stop resisting the infinite God source inside you, you'll understand the role the ego had to play in order to trick you into discovering your true nature. You see, the ego was never real in the first place. It was just a shadow created from your mind, standing in the way of your infinite light. As with any shadow, you'll realize that the closer you get to it, the easier it is to see that there is nothing actually there. This may be a frightening discovery to realize that you don't actually exist at all when your mind ego is no longer running the show. You'll be living in a bliss 24 hours a day. Isn't it time that you've transcended this intricate weave of limiting beliefs, which have been blocking the brilliant light of your own infinite being for far too long? As long as you are identified with your ego, you will continue to react with resistance to people, situations, and conditions that have triggered you since childhood. For example, if someone teases you and makes fun of you in front of all your friends, it's good to remember that nobody is under attack. How can you attack a shadow? Why would a shadow need to feel victimized, blamed, or fight back if it's not even real to begin with? All your problems arise from this over-identification with this shadow self. Always remember, it's the only thing that is not real. Your name, body, thoughts, feelings, and overall identity have absolutely nothing to do with you and with who you truly are. This fragmented false self is a figment of your mind's imagination and will always pale in comparison to the all-creative vast resource of your limitless being. The ego will always be a juicy interpretation about who you think you are, yet it is light leagues away from the infinite truth of your being. The day you anchor in this knowing of what or who you are and what your ego is, it will become the first day of your life that you are not blind yet can actually see. The great wall blocking every human being from seeing their divine nature is the same. It's that barricade of beliefs which have accumulated around the mind from past programming. All the memories, ideology, rules about life, which we've created for ourselves growing up, can often behave like waves in the ocean created years ago, and yet are still continuously arriving at our shore. These unconscious reactions attempt to resurface each day until we've sailed through the core of each one with a laser-like awareness and have seen it for what it actually is, a thought. Yet, be careful. These waves can be dangerous because they must throw you into an emotional tide pool swirling around Drama Island for the next 30 lifetimes. Be careful. These waves can be dangerous because they just might throw you into an emotional tide pool swirling around Drama Island for the next 30 lifetimes. With such a devastating effect always at hand, our past conditioning must have a positive role to play as well. It is always there, forcing our awareness to remain super alert and conscious so we are enjoying each new moment. It'll keep you sane to know that your soul is very excited for this experience of body and mind programming, so that one day you would be forced into manifesting, mastering your mind. When it comes down to whatever you resist will persist. The mind is already the greatest master of this. The mind will do everything to not follow your lead until it realizes that you no longer are going to participate in its games. This new relationship with the mind can be formed by diving into those places in your body that are still holding on to resistance and tension. Your body is like a graveyard of past experiences that are still resisting certain memories, people from the past, or aspects of your life. Your body is designed to hold on to a specific physical tension until the memory associated with it is cleared. For example, if your shoulders tense up each time you think about a certain person or situation at work, you'll want to ask your shoulders, as if they could talk, what specific memory are they holding tightly onto? When you stop and ask certain parts of your body what they are really holding onto, it becomes a type of archaeological expedition where you get to discover all the most interesting artifacts inside. Who knew the exploration of resistance could be so exciting? Now, you can transcend any physical pain or issue your body is having by simply going into the experience, exploring what the memory is and releasing it from your body with your breath. Your breath is always the gateway to healing. Your breath is always the gateway to healing. If it's a big trauma lodged in your body for years, you may first need to spend more time than usual to feel it deeply so you can release it completely. You'll know it's gone from your cells when you can regurgitate the memory and nothing shows up in your body. The secret is feeling your greatest fear that is hiding underneath your resistance to the fear. Now, I know this sounds complex, yet do not stop when you hit resistance to feeling past trauma inside. Dive into the memory, explore the thoughts and feelings around it several times. Go deeper than it. Go through it with the power of surrender. And eventually, you'll find that underneath it all is the presence of your eternal being. Once you can surrender through every emotional blockade and find the river of consciousness that penetrates you, then surrounds you, you'll be free and healed on the most profound levels. When you discover how to free up your body from all its tension and resistance to this life, you will have the power to manifest just about anything you can fathom. By completely releasing the fear trapped in your cells, you regain access to that supernatural power inside you. You will have a greater appreciation for life and a deeper understanding of yourself, as well as how to step through any tense experience that arises. It truly is amazing, all the intricate complexities that we create inside ourselves, just so that we have an entertaining ride home. Life is here to be explored and experienced on every level. It is like a grand buffet of 10,000 delicious main courses where hesitation, doubt, fear, and resistance are also meals in the list that our soul gets to taste, devour, and transcend. How else could we know our all-expansive true nature unless there was something small and contracted to push us down so that later we could happily let go and say, ah. The release of our body's tension caused by resistance gives the ego the sensation of freedom and happiness. It's like a great orgasm that you really had to work hard to attain. Once you discover the secret of relaxing the body while enjoying the uphill ride, you'll soon find yourself arriving in the land of absolute bliss. Take the next 7 days of your life to get curious about what you are truly resisting in your life. Perhaps you're resisting getting older, not having enough money, being wronged, blamed, not understood, or resisting deep intimacy in your relationship, etc. Whenever you find out something you are resisting, write it down on a piece of paper so that you can refer to it at any time throughout your day. Then, find that one thing on your list that you resist the most and spend a few minutes every morning relaxing into that feeling. Accept your resistance to it. Be with that which you cannot be with. Go straight into the heart of fear and the warrior-like mind. Do not stop until you have found peace with the thought you are resisting. Keep sitting and being with your stories. Simply practice relaxing deeper into your body so that you can feel all your feelings hiding inside. As you practice feeling acceptance again and again and again, you will soon see everything you were afraid of has melted away and is replaced by a deep stillness and calmness inside. This calmness is your very nature. And to live from this place is to take that first step into becoming the enlightened master of your life. So if you will, go to the place where you're not going to be interrupted. And I'm sure that we all are. And the first thing that we care to do is relax these bodies. Paramount. Should be a practice that we're doing constantly. It will relax the body through the breath. Now, many people have tried to do all kinds of ways of relaxing the body, artificial, you name it. Temporary. It's never really fulfilled long. It's always temporary. But through the breath, easy and slowly in through the nose, easy and slowly out through the mouth, we move ourselves into the now. And see, the body recognizes this. And the body begins to fall into ease. Because we store so many things in the body. And a lot of times we don't know it. We store stress, anxiety, fear, worry, anger, revenge, all kinds of things. And as we store them, the body, of course, harbors them, takes them in. Now, it doesn't mean, have you ever experienced, at a certain point in your life when you were younger, right? And in the stress factors and everything, you were able to very easily handle those stress factors. Remember? It wasn't a big deal, right? But as the body got older, you begin to notice things. And then you start saying to yourself that you are not able to handle the stress like you used to handle. You ever done that? Have you ever experienced that? Where you say to yourself that you're not able to handle the stress like you used to. Why is that? It's because the body gets so full that it gets to be overloaded. And then all of the tissue and all the biologics and everything in the body, there's no place to store anymore. And this, of course, we start to realize we got to let go of things. It's just overloaded. The basement, the garage of the body is just, there's no place to put anything else. See, and we do that. Why do we do that? Because we're in such a habit of doing that. We're in. It's just automatic. Store this here, store that, store that, store that, store that. Some of us carry 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 years of stuff that serves us no greater good at all, and we've been carrying it ridiculously long for nothing. Where we could just face it and say, you're done, I have no need for you. So when we focus on our breath, we move into the now, we still the ego mind, which means we leave it alone, and the subconscious mind. We don't, see, the ego mind does not exist in the now. That's why the majority of us aren't in the now. Because the ego mind controls, masters us, keeps us into yesterday or tomorrow. It's real important that we practice at all times being gentle, kind, generous, and humble with ourselves. Being the highest of the highest high, the deepest of the deepest deepest, and the purest of the purest purest. Eternal gratitude. And you stay. You get into the habit of it by being grateful. It's a paramount decision in this life. And after a while, it almost becomes automatic. You just find yourself saying to yourself, I am deeply grateful for this very moment I'm in right now. And people will say, well, it seems so tedious, this life. We've got, there's all this managing, and all this stuff that we've got to do. It seems like it's endless. 7 days of this, 3 days of that, It's because we're discovering the journey within, and we're leaving behind the journey outside of us. When the time comes, and we all choose this eventually in our own way, when you begin to realize is that everything is temporary, right? The only thing that is forever is the God that you are in that body. That's it. Everything else is temporary. You could be in that body for 10,000 years, but eventually you're going to say, it's time for me to move on. You will, I guarantee you that you will. And you'll do it wholeheartedly, with joy and bliss, and even be an issue. Most of us are caught up in this understanding that because of this external reality, the material physical world, the illusion of separation, and the illusion of the ego mind, subconscious mind, all of that's an inheritance that we, the gods, inherit when we enter these bodies. This is where you start to understand what's the purpose of staying in gratitude. Because every single inch, micro quark measurement, is gratitude. Gratitude that you're in that body. Gratitude. But see, we're not to the point of clenching and gripping and holding tight. I'm sure most of us don't like much driving, as when we get in a situation, a snowstorm, could be anything, and we're just gripping onto the steering wheel because we're so stressed out, because we've got all these fears running around, because what if I fall, go drive off the cliff or hit side, whatever. You see why, like Buddha Maitreya, and many others, they chose to go with the flow of life. They didn't fight it, say. They flowed with life. They didn't flow against it. They didn't fight it. They flowed with it. Now, some people, a lot of people will. What will they do? Remember, you've got the river, right? You've got the river, and you've got the rafters and everything, and they're grimacing and fighting the current, right? Fighting the current to get upstream. Then you have the other folks that they get in a boat. Boat doesn't have oars. It's got like a nice, easy lounge area that you just lay back in. And they go the opposite direction. They're going with the current, downstream thinking. They don't fight it. They flow with it. And they are concerned about where's this boat going to end up. You have faith and trust in the universe and yourself. It'll always be an adventure. And all the possibilities are in the unknown, and that boat following the current is the unknown. It's like the old story of the horse and the hare. The hare was just constantly, as we know, very arrogant and confident. And it figured, well, I can zoom ahead and take a nap, right? And the tortoise was just pragmatic, just methodical. Just do. And of course, the tortoise ended up beating the hare. A lot of the times we're convinced by the ego mind to be in a hurry. Always in a hurry. You ever felt that way? We all have. Always in a hurry, always in a hurry, always fighting the current. Strive, and instead of thriving, most of us are striving to get here, to get there, to have this, to have that. And all along, each of us will discover eventually the true peace and joy is when we discover that we are the God in this body, that we are joy, we are peace, we are bliss, 24/7. And everything that we ever seeked has never been outside of us. It's always been inside. It's like a hammock between the trees where you're not asleep, but you're not awake. And you're just floating in this hammock. You got a nice little breeze. You're in a place that's in between. It's just in between. You're not thinking. You don't have any thoughts. You are totally relaxed, naturally at ease. You really have no care to move, get up, or do anything. It's not even there. You're in a total state of bliss. Now, this is something that you planned on. It's just something that happened. And you don't care to leave it. So you just stay there. Kind of in a floating state. You can kind of hear maybe the leaves rustling or a little bit of noise far off in the background. But other than that, you're in a complete state of bliss. Now, we all put out 60,000 plus thoughts a day. top of that, we've got tens of millions and billions of programs that fly by like clouds in the sky. So you're in the now, and then you find yourself somewhere else. And you're really not sure where you're at, but you ended up somewhere, right? Grabbing onto one of those programs that came by. And the phenomenal thing about this is that you are now able to identify that, okay, so I wandered off, right? I'll focus on my breath and I'll be in the know. 3,000% of the time, every time. You may find yourself doing this 100 times a day. You just never know. See, being in the now, practicing being in the now, opens the golden door to the God that you are in that body. Guarantee you. So we have, when you start to piece by piece, little puzzles snapping into place, and you begin to realize that your journey has always been within. Now we picture ourselves, right, standing in front of three paths. Now we're in the center, we're in the now, through the breath. And then there's one on the left, yesterday, the past, and there's one on the right, tomorrow, the future. Now all these paths, we've noticed that the trees have formed a canopy, a golden shimmering canopy over each path. The leaves, the bark, the branches. And the path itself is a brilliant emerald green flaming grass. Now we notice there is a blatant noted that we notice, that we pick up, is that the path on the left, yesterday, right? It's really worn, it's been used. Then one on the right, tomorrow, future, just been used. It's really, really, really used. The one that we're standing on, the now, looks almost brand new, and we know why that is, because the ego mind does not exist in the now. This, after all, is an illusion. Right? Now, the ego mind is going to do everything it can to keep us out of the now and into yesterday or tomorrow. That's why those two paths are so worn. This is why the majority of us are in the external world, right? Yesterday or tomorrow, and a couple percent, small portion, 2% of us are in the now. Once we learn, once we know to make the journey within, stay within, we will discover that we are the God within the body and not the body. We will also discover that we are all one. That is huge, that we are all one. When we come to that, there will never, ever, ever again be any conflict on this planet, period. There won't be any unsettling. There won't be any hatred. There won't be any anger and fear, revenge, manipulation, dishonesty. Won't exist. Now we reminisce, all of us do. And, we've got a couple of things in place, and understand everything's an illusion, right? Anything that portrays to you that you're separate from anything is illusion. So we have our subconscious mind, which is the great recorder. The subconscious mind records everything. Not just this lifetime, but all lifetimes. And it stores them in the great hall, of which we each have one. And then at times, randomly, will play it back. This is where you might find yourself in a situation where, say, boy, this sure feels familiar. And it feels really familiar. I've done this before, and you have. And the subconscious mind has played it back randomly. Now, when we reminisce, it could be anything. I mean, a song might spark it. You could be traveling somewhere, or just sitting, or talking with someone. You say, "Oh, this reminds me of the time when I blah 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 blah. That was a really good time I had, and I wouldn't mind doing it again." And we kind of used the Great Hall like at times a reference library. We can go in there and we can review things from our past. And things that we didn't work out, and that maybe we could try a different way that would work out. But we go there. We'll open the door, turn on the light. When you walk into a room, you look at the ceiling and the walls. You don't, not that you're clearly aware of that. When you walk into the Great Hall, there's no ceiling and walls because it's glass. Nevertheless, you will go to the shelves and the drawers, and you will pick some movies, some pictures, and some books of your past life experience. Could be this life, could be another life. You just never know. And you'll see a white rectangle floating in there, and you'll go sit in an easy chair and look at some of the movies and watch some of the movies, look at some of the books, read some of the books, and look at some of the pictures. And you'll have a good time, and you'll remind yourself of certain things, but you won't stay there. You will put everything away. You will turn off the light, shut the door, and you'll move forward in life. And on occasion, you'll revisit. Some of us will stay there so darn long, unconsciously, that they end up taking that past, they bring it into a future that doesn't exist. They create that future from that past, and they relive that past in that future. That's why people say no matter what we do, we always seem to end up here. Now, we all go into the future as well. We'll go into the future because we're either anxious, we want to know certain things, we want things to happen quicker than they do, we get hurried by the ego mind. So we ask external authority, astrologers, numerologists, psychics, clairvoyants, card readers, tea leaf readers, palm readers, pendulum readers, crystal readers. All kinds of different resources. So you go and you'll get a reading of some kind, right? And the person asks you, what would you like to know? You say, well, I'd like to know when I have enough money to enjoy my life. The reader will come through and say, well, it looks from what the cards are telling you, you're going to have a major windfall of money. It's going to come out of the clear blue, and it looks like it's going to happen sometime in the next week or so. Now, there's different responses, Some people will just kind of blow it off, and they've got no trust and faith in themselves or the universe, and they just kind of, just for giggles, right? And you got the people that really just embrace it. white knuckle it, write it down in their calendar, count every hour, every day, form attachments to the outcome of it, and continually develop expectations. Then you have the one that embraces it, has total trust and faith in themselves and the universe. Make sure it's as clear as possible and detailed to the universe for manifesting, and leave it alone. They're the ones that will manifest it. The first being won't, because they just totally negated it. They have no belief. And the second one will chase it away because they're so fixated on it. It's like Buddha said many times, master your thoughts. Master them. Now we have parts of ourselves, the gods that we are in these bodies. And some of those parts are stone cold asleep. Others are consciously aware, awake to a certain extent, which means that we know that we are of and from the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest, deepest, purest of the purest, purest, eternal love. We deeply love the ones that are asleep as well as the ones that are awake. And we're not separate. It's just a big, huge illusion. We're one. We are gods, all experiencing different avenues of existence. Just like the cells in your body. Trillions of cells, all experiencing different things in different ways, but all part of the one. This is why eventually we will learn that we could be in one place, more than one place at one time. That eventually we'll be able to travel existence in a blink of the eye. It's like when we look at this planet, the gods that we are in the body, right? We look at this planet and we say, it's time that we eliminate all the pure evil, lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies, souls that have taken on too much darkness, and permanently remove it from this planet. And so in full compassion, non-judgment, non-ego, non-negativity, stillness of mind, gentleness, kindness, generosity, and humbleness, bliss, joy, peace, tranquility, benevolence, prosperity, abundance. We're all one. We're all love. And we're all God. And our God force, love, light, energy is in all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever, beyond and forever. And it continues to intensify, grow, and expand. Now, we form a white fire circle of light around the equator of this planet Earth, Gaia, Arya, and this now. This emanates from the gods that we are within these bodies. It's pure, deep, eternal love. It is so bright that it grays out the darkness of sacred space. You could take 1 trillion suns, bunch them together, and they would pale in comparison to this light. And we're saturating, permeating, and flooding this planet, all life, the highest supreme value in the universe, with this pure, deep, eternal love. The highest of the highest high vibrational frequencies. You can't, these lower dark matter, five matter frequencies cannot survive. They cannot hold a higher frequency. They were vaporized. So we begin to ascend above the planet as pure, deep, eternal love. And we're immediately met with it's a massive ocean of glitter. Right? Now, we, the gods that we are, within these bodies, are the glitter. Sparkle, the light. And it's everywhere. So we step in to these reflective, glittering light points, and we discover that all of us are teaching and learning, learning and teaching. And the interesting thing is that the majority of us don't see that because we're too pulled into the external reality, the physical material world, to seek outside of oneself. Some are aware enough to be with the journey within. They will immediately notice the messages or teachings that we receive from everything, every physical form, whether it be a cow, horse, a bug, a rock, a bird, tree, doesn't matter. Remember, there's no randomness in this universe. It is all finitely, perfectly engineered. Right down to the butterfly that flies in front of you. You say, oh, it's just random. No, it's not. So it's a choice. It's a choice that we make. You know, what is it that I'm learning from the dragonfly? What is it that I'm learning from the bamboo tree or the oak tree? What is it, these things? What are they showing me? The gods within them. The energy that creates life is the God. You know, we create columns of light, the gods that we are in these bodies, because we know that we have a level of amnesia. So we're met by the omnipotently powerful emerald green flaming healing light of Archangel Raphael. And this light was created to remind us all, the gods that we are in these bodies, that we are the power of healing these bodies. Then we're met with Archangel Michael. He's carrying the violet, blue, purple flame light. This is created to remind us all, the gods that we are within these bodies, of our omnipotent power, strength, and resolve. And then we're met with the white fire. This is a column of light that we created to remind us all that we are protected from head to toe, inside and out. 24/7, infinity beyond. No demon possession, no attachments, no lower dark matter, five matter frequencies, ever. As long as we maintain that vibrational frequency. Now, if you decide to lower your vibrational frequency, consciously or unconsciously, low enough through hatred, anger, fear, greed, revenge, dishonesty, manipulation, you will create breach in your right fire armor, allowing all lower dark matter and vital matter frequencies to come flooding in. You do decide to do this. We have fail-safes, the gods that we are in these bodies, and we create this double column of light. First part of the column is the purple transmuting flame. This reminds us that we can bring in the purple transmuting flame. We can transmute all of these lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies into neutral light substance, sending them to pure consciousness where they are no more. Second part of the column is the violet ray. This reminds us that we can bring in the violet ray right behind the purple transmuting flame, cleanse and purify the area where these lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies were, sealing the breach in our white fire armor, restoring our vibrational harmony to the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal love, gratitude, and peace. We're then met with the golden, white, pink light. This is a column of light that we created, the gods that we are, to remind us all that we are the sun. We are the sunlight. the rain and the rainbows. We are the sunsets and the sunrises. We are the clouds in the sky. We could go on with this for infinity. The fairies, the sprites, the elves, the gnomes, the trees, the trolls, the elementals, earth, air, water, fire, ether, the mermaid, the dolphin, the whale, the pegasus, the unicorn, the centaur, the minotaur, all the ascended masters, Kuan Yin, Maitreya, Buddha, Lakshmi, Ganesh, Gaia, Saint Germain, Christ, El Morya, Abundantia, Peltoth, Yahweh, Yeshua, all species, all existences, archangels, cherubim, seraphim archetypes, the trees, the soils, the animals, the oceans, the rivers, the lakes, the streams. There isn't anything that we are not. Now, we continue to ascend above the planet, and some of us decide to step outside our physical forms, well, carrying physical form, and hover effortlessly above them. The reason we do this is because we can, and it's a lot of fun. We come into contact with this massive crystalline light tower. We, the gods in these bodies, created this tower. It's larger than the solar system and beyond. In the center of the column, we see this oblong sphere. Center of the sphere is a golden white ball of light. In turn, it is surrounded by numerous multicolored rings of light that seem to go to infinity and beyond. This, in turn, creates this super bright, white, misty, sparkling cloud. It's absorbed in through our heart-mind, and it feels like a warm embrace that never ends. We discovered that the golden white ball of light is the highest of the highest high, the deepest of the deepest deepest, the purest of the purest purest, the eternal love, gratitude, well-being, gentleness, kindness, generosity, and humbleness, bliss, joy, peace, tranquility, benevolence, massive prosperity, massive abundance. Now, we designed the top of the column so that the golden ocean can come cascading down 360 degrees, 24/7, infinity and beyond. That is doing right now. What is the golden ocean? Pure, deep, eternal love, the highest of the highest high vibrational frequencies. We are all drops of this golden ocean. We also hold the essence of this golden ocean. Golden ocean is the drops. Drops are the golden ocean, and the only illusion is separation. Now we see our meditative sphere. We, the gods in these bodies, created this sphere over 4 years ago. We're moving towards 1,900 meditations in perpetual motion. Every day, 7 days a week for over 4 years. Hundreds of millions of us on and off planet. Complete liberation of this planet, on it, in it, above it, below it. That's why this sphere can be seen, heard, and felt, and all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. Continues to expand, intensify, and grow. Now, we can plug into this sphere and see, right, through the heart mind as we just float, and we're watchers, we're not judging. But we've literally put in an atmosphere of golden white pink light. This is pure, deep, eternal love, the highest of the highest high vibrational frequencies. All of the lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies, and the pure evil, and the souls that have taken on too much darkness, they're all evaporating through this golden white pink light field. They're disintegrating. They can't hold that high of a vibrational frequency as pure, deep, eternal love. They will not exist. And we created the sky basically is the catch of the remnants of anything that may get through the atmosphere, and anything that's left will be vaporized in this golden white pink light sky, which is all pure, deep, eternal love. This is infinity and beyond. This will not subside, because I believe that people believe that, well, we'll go into 5D and then, no, then we'll go to 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and it'll just keep going. And literally this planet is being transformed into a God planet paradise. We're already a God planet with all the gods and all the physical forms, and that's a given. Paradise is in the process of transitioning. What area of your life do you most need to create something completely new? Often people get hung up on avoiding the material world because they assume it's not spiritual. Yet how will you feel when you follow through and complete that one task that you are avoiding doing? This is about being at peace with yourself and your life as it is. Do that one thing today that you've been avoiding doing. This will allow you to be a new person whose mind is calm, bright, and completely at ease. Don't wait. Do that one thing that will put your mind at ease right now. I join you in the meditation. I'll return to close us out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose, and an easy and slow breath out of the mouth. Be still. If we look beyond our physical existence, we'll soon discover the subtle realms and experience the infinite quality of our soul. Take a single glimpse into what is beyond this physical 3D world. It will reveal everything you need to know. Let something higher from the beyond enter you. For at least 5 seconds, 20 times randomly today, allow yourself to feel the subtle energy inside your physical body. Tune into that emotional and super subtle energy you feel vibrating within your being. Get curious about what it is like and where it is coming from. Take this with you for the rest of the day into the evening and night and following morning. We will return here Wednesday, July 20th, 2022, 3 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call, and 9 p.m. Eastern to continue our time for change call.